6TR, broadcasting live from Burslem to the heart of the community.
It's 2:07. Thank you very much to Jim Lee. Very interesting conversation there. I'll put that up online later. But yeah, you can get hold of the album Therapy right now. And the single is also out there. And it would be interesting to see him live. So hopefully he does get a little bit better and does get on the stage for us to see him again in all his glory. Right, it's time for our second guest today. We've got a new feature called On Our Doorstep on Six Sounds Radio, where we are inviting some of the local business people and just interesting people from Burslem to come round and have a bit of a chat on a Friday afternoon. We're going to do this at least once a month, and today is the turn of Carol Shanahan. Hello, Carol. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, for the people who don't know you, there's a business in Burslem called Synetics Solutions, and that is your baby.
It is.
Yes. So we want you to find out a little bit more about that, a little bit more about yourself. So first of all, how long have you been in Burslem?
We moved into Burslem last February. We bought the building the August before, but we had to do quite a lot of work. So we've got the old Co-op Normid supermarket next to the Vale on Hamel Road. And although the building was perfect because we bought all the desks and we bought it as it was, the wiring wasn't up to our standards, so we had to change all that and get all the telephone lines in and properly. So, and then we moved everybody in gradually. We're moving 350 people in, so you don't do that in one go.
No.
So we did that over a number of months, and we were all in by the February. So just about a year ago now.
And where did you move from?
We had 3 offices. Well, we've still got 3 offices in Newcastle. So Kevin's my husband, and he and I began the business 25 years ago this next week. And it's our birthday.
Anniversary next week,
Yes, our birthday coming up. And we have had an office on the Brampton, on the Hollies on the Brampton, and then one next door but one to the New Vic on Echuria Road. And then we bought the police station on Water Street, which we renovated and had people in there. So we had all the staff scattered over 6 buildings over 3 sites, all within about a mile of each other. But it made it very awkward for teamwork and everything else. So we looked for a building where we could fit all 350 people in. And it was my daughter Kate and our office manager Claire who found the Co-op. And I'll be honest, to begin with, I did rant for about 10 minutes about moving to Burslem. Not because of Burslem per se, but moving 350 people across the D Road. It was just going to be a big... I expected to just move down the road. I don't know why, because there isn't anything there.
Well, I suppose you're used to Newcastle as well. It's a nice little town, isn't it? And,
and we'd always been there. In 20. I mean, we'd started off in a small office about the size of this studio, just the 2 of us at the bottom of the Brampton. So we'd always been in that area. We were a Newcastle company. So then to make that change and to, as I say, migrate across the D Road was a huge decision. As it turns out, it was the best decision we've ever made. Where Newcastle, which is a wonderful town, but it didn't have that community feel where we were in the same way as Burslem did. As soon as we came to Burslem, because we had to go and engage the council and the police because we had the car park next to the Vale, so you know what to do with that on match days. And so straight away we were welcomed into the community, and we were sort of quite surprised that it was such a big deal that we were moving here. And the longer we've been here, the more we love it. And the staff and we've got staff helping. We've been down and helped Middleport Matters to paint railings, and we're doing all sorts of things in the community and becoming part of it, which is a whole new experience for us as a company, but makes us a better company.
I suppose so, because like I say, you're bringing all the people together, people together, and being part of something else as well can definitely benefit both sides.
Absolutely, and to play an active role in a community, because we've always had a charity committee and we've always raised money for charity, but at the end of the year we would just write cheques. So you were removed from what you were doing, whereas here, not long after we moved in, Joan Wally gave me a walk around Burslem, and I defy anybody to have a walk around Burslem with Joan Wally and not be in love with Burslem by the time you've entered the Bull's Head for your half pint of plum porter, because her enthusiasm was infectious. And, you know, she painted the picture of how it used to be when Dalton were down the road and there were so many people about. But also she talked about, you know, where it could move in the future, which isn't going to be to recreate the past, because that's never going to happen. And what I really liked about when we moved here and we began to meet people like Ashley down at Swan Bank, and you look at the work that he's doing, and Amelia Bilson at Middleport Matters, and Alan Christian with, you know, Root and Fruit, and, you know, there's so many, and June Cartwright with our Burslem.
We'll talk about June in a minute.
No list is complete without June from our Burslem. And so, you know, it's a community that was on the up, hit the bottom, and my sense is that it's coming back up because it's taking responsibility for itself. It's not expecting freebies. It's not expecting, I mean, Martin Tideswell said yesterday in the Sentinel about Stoke, we're not expecting knights in shining armour to come over and save us. You know, the answers are here, and we're getting on and doing it in a quiet way, which is brilliant.
Yeah, you touched on something there before about the past. You can't recreate the past.
No.
Obviously, we can be proud of what's here from the past, but you've got to build what's on, you know, the current market and what the trends are, you know.
I think you have to respect your heritage, and, you know, you look at the Wedgwood Institute and the building, and I've always said, you know, if that building was in Italy, it would be lit up and there would be coach trips coming to see it, because it's phenomenal, and a lot of the buildings around here are. So we've got a wonderful heritage, and that we should use that and then move, you know, forward with it. We shouldn't forget it.
No.
You take it with you, but you move forward, and you don't try and recreate the past.
But it's like getting the kids enthusiastic about a bit of architecture or something, you know, from the past. It's difficult, but when they put like things, they got like in the Wedgwood Institute you just mentioned, they got like little theatre shops and things going on for the kids, and making days and all sorts of things going on there. So again, they're going in there and respecting the building and probably appreciating it more than they would walking past. Yeah,
and if you look at the sixth formers, you know, you look at what Carl Ward's done with the town hall and now the art school, and it's made a wonderful use of working with today's young and educating them. And you think, you know, the founding fathers of Burslem, I think, would have been very proud of what has happened to that town hall.
They would have been sitting in the Leopard, having off, thinking, what's going to happen in a few hundred years? But, I don't know. I think they would be very proud.
Oh, I bet this will end up being a school. You know? But it's good, because it's a good positive use of the buildings, rather than it just becoming a museum or just something that's a dead space. It's alive. And, you know, you've got to bring the young in, and I think that's really, really important.
And I think something that is probably needed is something for the young people who come to Burslem. There's a few things like I just mentioned, the craft things that go on in the Wedgwood Institute and sometimes in the School of Art. But we've thought about doing like DJ workshops and media schools. So it's something that we're working on, but there needs to be more of that, I think, to get people engaged down here.
But if you go back to the, you know, we keep mentioning June, you know, you look at the festivals that she and her team have put on, you know, last May. I mean, last May was raining, so it wasn't so, you didn't have so many people, but certainly on the August one and Christmas, I mean, the Christmas light switching on was, well, the best in the six towns, I'd have to say.
It was. Well, we were part of it, so it definitely was. Six towns. We did Burslem and Stoke this year, but I always say the Burslem ones are best.
I was very proud to turn the lights on at the and I had Boomer to help me, that made it wonderful.
I know, we can say you switched the lights on. Of course, you mentioned your charity aspect of the business. You helped to fund the May Festival as well this year, and again, June goes round talking to these businesses, getting them involved, and no one really thinks, oh, he is June. They think, I want to help, because like they're so proud of the town as well. And
Absolutely.
I think she's very infectious when she starts talking about, again, like you said about June. It's persuasive. But when you talk about Joan Wally, there's June, Fred Hughes as well. Again, these people, they could take you around Burslem and you see it in a different light within half an hour. But June said to me with the festival, you know, because we get involved with that and promote it and everything, that she wants to do more. And it's just great that all these businesses are, you know, sort of helping to, you know, put the little town on the map sort of thing.
I mean, it's a bit pernickety, but at Synetics, I don't call it charity work, I call it community work, because I feel that communities, companies have a responsibility to the community in which they live.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's a lot more since I moved to Burslem. I mean, people in Newcastle will say, well, you didn't have much of a responsibility there. But certainly since we've moved here, I've understood the value of companies in the community. And so we've got a community committee, and we look for ways that we can actively help within the community. So places like Swanbank, where we've been able to help with the library that Ashley's building and the IT community centre upstairs. You know, if we can put our support into places like that, which is helping to build the community and to build the community to help itself, then I think it's really important. We hosted the meeting of Root and Fruit yesterday, and it used to be with Steelite, and it isn't anymore, so we said we'd pick it up. And to have a couple of allotments in the town where you're growing fruit and veg, and that we can then hand that back to the community. But what they're struggling for at the moment are volunteers, and if you look at the therapeutic and the side of gardening, and so to have somewhere that people can go and do some physical work with the soil and grow vegetables which we can then hand on is a great thing.
Well, listeners, there you go. That's something you're interested in.
Please get your shovels and ring me at Synetics and I'll put you in the right direction.
Volunteer work, full stop. Like, we're all volunteers here. We just had a meeting upstairs, and we were joking after the meeting, saying it's 7 years we've been going nearly. Why are we doing it? Why? And then you think about all the good things that go on in the community, all the great people we've helped, and being a part of working with, sort of does spur you on. And like I say, if you're interested in gardening and you've got a few hours to spare, this could be something that can get you motivated again.
Bob at Root and Fruit really needs your help.
There you go. Yeah. Finally, let's talk about the business. We talked about you, why you're here. For the people who don't know, what does the business do?
We're an IT company, a data company, and we began, as I say, 25 years ago. The first contract that we had was with Rover Cars, and we developed and ran their marketing database, and then we ran Land Rovers, and now we still do work for the motor industry with Toyota and Volvo and Kia. But in 1995, we began to run a scheme called the National Fraud Initiative, which we ran for the Audit Commission, which is looking for fraud and benefit fraud in local authorities. And we still run that. We've just gone live with the latest one. And we also work with banks, building societies, insurance companies, looking for fraud at point of application or at point of claim. So it's an IT company, but one of the things that we are very, very good at is hospitality. We've always had kitchens where we do our own buffets. We cook the food for the staff, so the staff can have breakfast, lunch and takeaway dinners. So Kevin, my husband, calls it a catering company that does a bit of data on the side.
Not the other way around.
Yeah, and so the buildings that we've got in Newcastle we've still got, and they're now called Summit Hospitality, which is our company, and we run serviced offices on Echuria Road, and we run a conference centre on the Brampton. So if you want to have a meeting room, and we have tea ladies there, and wonderful buffets and everything, and we do hospitality there. So we've got the two sides to us, really, data and hospitality.
Well, it's great to find out what you're up to and why you came to Burslem, etc.
Well, that's only a bit of what I'm up to, and we're up to loads more. I mean, we're but in a quarter of an hour, we can't go through it all. We'll have to have one a week. There's quite a few weeks to go.
We'll definitely invite you back to come have another chat, but it's been great finding out a little bit more.
Oh, it's been an absolute joy to be here.
Well, thank you, Carol. Well, I've picked a song for you. Before you go, tell the listeners why we picked this song.
Well, straight away when I was asked what song I wanted, I said "Come On Eileen," which is my favourite song, and I think it's great at parties. We'll certainly be playing it at their birthday party in a couple of weeks. But I have 2 puppies, and my son named one of the puppies Stella because he thought it would be great that it sounded like Marlon Brando in A Streetcar Named Desire when she went, Stella. And I said, no one will understand what you're talking about. So I called the other puppy Eileen. So when I stand in the park and I go, come on, Eileen, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Well, you just think you're just randomly shouting out song lyrics.
Well, they just keep a distance from me, really.
It's perfect. Let's listen to Dexter's Midnight Runners, but thank you very much, Carol.
It's my pleasure.